Should we do some news? Maxipada's filling in for Gina Grad.
Maxipada, 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 oh, Maxipada.
Rock me, Maxipada.
Well, he stands no more than 5'3". This puffy-head, horny, hungry Asian pygmy. Road trips with Corolla and sleeps in a drawer. Heard he's good with the ladies, Filipino man whore. Took a school bus trip all around the state. He got a big appetite, likes to clean his plate. His real name's Laxamana, but not to Adam. So we changed that shit up. Now we call him Maxipada. Maxipada, Maxipada,
all right.
Maxipada, Maxipada, Maxipada.
Doing the news.
Martin,
all right. Jump in whenever you want.
All right.
All right. Well, biggest story of today is the Gilroy shooting.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Gilroy, the Garlic Festival was this weekend, and on Sunday, a 19-year-old kid cuts through a fence to avoid the metal detectors.
They had metal detectors.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Enters the festival.
The fence.
Yeah. AK-47 type assault rifle, appears to shoot randomly for less than a minute before 3 officers confront him. They have handguns. There's a shootout occurs. They kill the kid. And the victims, 6-year-old boy, 13-year-old girl, a man in his 20s, and a bunch of people in the hospital with serious injuries.
I don't know why, but it's those little community festivals nearby, whatever. It's between that and... borderline, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are, I know I was talking about hits home, like close to home. These are close to home.
The Gilroy Garlic Festival is a legend up in the Bay Area and where I'm from. And I don't know if, Dawson, you have the same experience with Gilroy, but to get to my house from L.A., many, many times up and down in college and thereafter, it had cut through Gilroy. Yeah. And it was such a cool memory to always have that just waft of garlic just hit you like, oh, I'm close to home. And to hear this is just...
Yeah.
It's known for garlic. It's like, is there anything safer than a garlic festival?
It's so weird
it's a farming
because
community. They farm garlic.
It's so random now, and the new world order is if you're ever going to have more than 50 people together, then the 51st guy needs to be an officer, needs to have a gun, and he needs to be able to return something fast. Because in this world, if guys like this are left to do what they want to do, I'm imagining they're just going to shoot as many people as they can before they get shot. So sadly, people are just going to have to return. And thank God the cops did it as fast as they did it.
Yeah.
He killed 3 people and wounded
12, more of an injured, 11 patients with gunshot wounds. It's terrible.
And also, it's somebody. I think somebody yelled at him, like, why are you doing this or something? And he just went, I'm angry.
Yeah, he responded, I'm really angry.
All right, so kill yourself, would you?
It was a quick and easy...
Just do it at home, would you? Jesus Christ.
And there's talks of a second shooter, but they're unsure. It's being investigated right now. Or a second accomplice.
Oh.
I'm not a religious guy, but we got to start peddling this hell notion.
Yeah.
Again, we need to infuse kids and you do this shit and you go to a fiery place with no TV remote.
Right.
Fire and brimstone should come back.
That's right.
Do you think that, like, whenever you're in a public place, how often does it cross your mind that there's something, some shit could go down?
Every time I'm at a sporting event, I think, that I can't believe no one's done something at a sporting event. Not a gun per se, but some sort of something. It's just such an easy... think about the exits, how few there are, you know what I mean, at these USC game or whatever.
Yeah, I literally just played 3 kind of honky-tonks in a row over the weekend, and you always kind of have that thought of again, we used to play Borderline all the time. I mean, I played there, 5-8 times. It has to cross your mind. It doesn't affect anything. It just crosses your mind, especially if it's going to be places you've been to. The whole Borderline thing was kind of like the Farrah Fawcett death thing with Michael Jackson, which is 8 people, 9 people massacred at the Borderline place used to play all the time. Next day, huge wildfires blow through the same community, and all the news just shifts. So everyone kind of forgot about that massacre.
Yeah, a lot of the Borderline guys were at the show last night.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, a lot of the staff.
13 killed at Borderline, and it was just big wildfire, just literally just threw it off the front page.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Next story.
Next story. All right. Well, Adam, we see Sonny playing a lot of basketball, and you're shaping him to be an incredible athlete. But I think you're doing it wrong because you need to get him back in front of that TV playing Fortnite. The Fortnite World Cup, the first ever one, $30 million in cash prizes for these kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was held at New York's Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium. Over 2 million people watching.
He'd be proud that a bunch of fat kids were playing video games.
First feline age on this.
That's right. Yeah, that's the way. It's his legacy.
Yeah.
Fat white kids not moving and hammering more checks than Arthur could have
Ever saw in his
ever did his
lifetime.
entire career.
Well, a lot of these kids, so with all the money they're getting, they're saying they're going to spend it on upgrading their setup, getting better PCs. It's a write-off at that point.
You got to funnel that money back. You got to reinvest.
Yeah.
It's smart. So
Arthur Ashe quietly had one of the nicer fros in sports.
Yeah?
Him and Lynn Swan. They don't get their due, but they both had some pretty good fros
Ken, let's
going.
get a side-by-side. We got to see.
They had, take your time.
yeah, while Caitlin's pulling that up. So
Who's the second one?
Lynn
Swan had a good fro back in the day, too. Now, it was obscured by his helmet.
True, but every once in a while, catch him on the sidelines.
Everybody remembers Lynn Swan.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
What
Kyle
was it?
Giersdorf from Pennsylvania, he wins $3 million as the first Fortnite World Cup solo champion. Now his ritual is he spends 8 to 10 hours a day playing this game. His mom is quoted saying, "I literally feel like I'm in a dream right now. It's so surreal. This is life-changing for him. He's been playing video games since he was 3. So this is his passion. He told us he could do this. He put his mind to it, and he did it. And pro gamers get paid up to $10,000 a month for doing this. I mean,
Not since they launched the World Bass Fishing Tournament, the notion of getting paid for shit that involved nothing.
sitting.
Like that was a tough sell there. Like, we got to start a professional bass fishing. Like, someone's going to pay you to fish? Yes, they are.
It's oddly specific,
We're going to
you
get
know.
endorsements. We're going to have logos.
We'll be on
we're
ESPN.
going to do everything.
can you drink beer while you're doing that?
You can.
It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt your game. I just like the idea that we can figure out a way to get paid doing anything now.
We're podcasting.
Yeah, we're podcasting.
We're literally doing
I've said it many times. Like, could I have 13-year-old twins. Can I, with a straight face, give them a speech about, look, you're not going to amount to anything unless you hit those books hard. You get that college degree or you get your Class A truck driver's license. You know, like,
No.
How can you, with a straight face, tell them they can't do anything? Or are you going
Well, they
to
have
need
to do
this?
this
You have to
route.
do this route or that route. You better learn the metric system, buddy, or you're going to be unemployable. Like, you can't say anything. Everyone's just doing whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Now, statistically, it isn't going to work to be a professional gamer or podcaster or do memes, be a meme god or whatever it is. It'll never work, but you still can't give them the speech because it exists.
Yeah.
And also, ditch digging, which used to be a threat, doesn't really exist.
Doesn't ring true anymore.
Doesn't really ring true. You're going to be digging ditches.
The robots will do it.
Yeah.
What for?
That's right.
Well, I think that the most important thing to communicate is really to the kids to maintain the dreams. You got to maintain the dreams, and whether you work hard as a ditch digger or you work hard with a computer, as long as you have dreams, as long as you have incentive and dreams and a little bit of the killer instinct, you know. So I can never tell my kids you'll succeed, but you still need the dreams and you still need the killer instinct to make the dreams happen. And whatever the dream is, it is. But that's what we can tell kids these days.
I just saw the dream, which is the fro of Arthur Ashe and Lynn Swan.
Oh, pretty good.
Looking
nice
strong.
fros.
Those are
How do you
strong
choose?
fros.
Just be happy you live in a world where they both exist.
I know. I mean, Lynn's really looks like this mic cover right
was just-
now,
I was
right?
just thinking
that
that.
is a fro,
It's
man.
high and tight.
Yeah, did not get the credit he deserved for that fro. And Arthur Ashe, look, that fro slows you down on the court. He's
Yeah.
hobbling himself. Hey, if swimmers shave their chest, well, do the math.
Or maybe that's why Lynn Swan escaped all the CTE stuff. You know what I mean? He had the padding underneath the
He
helmet.
had a second helmet under his helmet.
Nice
Yeah.
and dense.
All right.
All right. Well, our friend Neil deGrasse Tyson has been cleared by misconduct investigation. He'll keep his museum job. So last year...
museum job.
Last year he was accused of misconduct by multiple women who had worked with him, and they came out and saying that he groped them, he made moves on them, whatever, and now he gets to keep his job, which is great.
He has a nominal job, but his job is being Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Right.
I mean, going on shows.
Yeah. The American Museum of Natural History has been investigating this claim. He gets to keep being the director of the Hayden Planetarium, and National Geographic, they cleared him as well to continue producing his shows.
The guy I'm thinking about in the Black Me Too movement, Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley got Me Too'd.
Did he?
Well, see, that's the thing. When these guys go fast, you don't notice it.
Okay.
It doesn't stick in your memory. Tavis Smiley, I mean, that guy had a talk show on the air for a long time. And he had a long-running talk show. Okay. He got Me Too'd about 2 years ago, and he just left.
No shit.
And he's just gone. Like, I don't know what the strategy is. I don't know if there's a comeback. Like, I don't know who the guys are. They're guys that pack it up so fast that they never made the cut. Mm-hmm. Like, there's this kind of period, like when you buy a used car or something, some cool down period or something. If you're not in the news, if you pull yourself out the first day, Brian, who follows the news, doesn't know. Doesn't remember Tavis Smiley got knocked. No one remembers he got knocked out.
If it doesn't linger, you know what I mean? Right. No, nothing to hook our memories on.
Didn't Letterman famously just come out of the gate apologizing, and then everyone kind of just let it go after that?
Letterman did the best thing you can do, which is he had a fuck room in his office at work. Like, if you want to... Well, hold on a second. The only thing better was Hammer. Oh, you were looking for Hammer, right? He had a Schlitz or Colt 45. He had a drinking desk where it's like hit a button and a drawer cooler would open up with malt liquor in it.
Wow, what a life.
But a fuck room is even better than a drinking desk. Now, the ultimate arrival is you have a drinking desk next to Brian, come on.
I jumped the gun on that one.
Next to the fuck room, you have a drinking desk. Were you in one of those commercials?
Yeah.
You were looking.
What a memory you have. You remember this bizarre shit, man.
A Tarantino-esque memory.
We did the malt liquor commercials together while I was doing Cagney and Lacey. In fact, the movie we just finished.
Wait, who were you doing it? Were you doing it with the Hammer?
Yeah, with the Hammer. And I mean, we just did this movie VFW together, and I brought him the black silk jacket that I was given about Colt 45 malt liquor. I'll never forget it. And
he gives away his memorabilia.
Sammy Davis Jr. gave me this jacket. Mark, you can't say that with everything.
That was funny, but it's right. You're absolutely right. And made a lot of money in that commercial. But yeah,
the Hammer
45, and he did have all kinds of drawers and stuff with things in there.
Wow.
The Hammer, we got to find the conversion on it. The Hammer was a professional I think he was a defensive back. I think he played for Green Bay. I can't remember. But what was his name?
Yeah, it was the Hammer. It was...
we'll think of it in a second.
Was it Fred Williamson?
Yeah,
Fred Williamson.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
And he was the Hammer, and then he...
appeared with Quentin Tarantino from Dusk Till Dawn.
And had a Colt 45 drinking desk, or Cobra malt. It had malt liquor in it. It had a special desk made. I haven't talked to Dr. Drew about this, but, it talks about signs of being an alcoholic. Having a custom drinking desk made, would that fall under the heading of possible problem with alcohol?
It's a warning sign. It's definitely an indicator.
So, now Letterman would have sex, like literally would have intercourse. I don't know if they were long-term things or interns or whatever. I don't think he nailed everybody, but in terms of Me Too, that definitely qualified for Me Too, having sex at work.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
I think Letterman got off the hook for two reasons. One, he's beloved, so he gets a little bit of leeway there. But I think his affairs were consensual. I don't think he was groping or coercing.
No, but they don't. Me Too. If you're having sex with an underling at work, Me Too doesn't cut you a lot of slack with that.
It's the power.
I'm assuming Matt Lauer's I don't know, whatever Matt Lauer was doing.
Right.
There weren't women running out of his office screaming with their tops ripped off. Like, I think he was just having
Well,
sex
why do you have the lock button on the door?
He didn't want people to walk in on their consensual
that makes so much
sex.
sense.
Well, I don't think
Then
you
why
can.
not just have a lock as opposed to the lock button?
Ask Hammer. He had a desk. He probably had a lock on his door.
Same company.
No, what I'm saying is
Hey, that's a good idea.
I'm not here to defend Matt Lauer, but
Sounds like what you're doing.
I
Sounds
think
like what
he
you're doing.
got into trouble for having what's implied is if you're the boss man and there's the 23-year-old chick who's new on the job, even if she's consenting, she's kind of consenting because she's scared she's going to get
coerced.
fired or she's going to whatever. Anyway. Letterman is beloved, so he had that part, which is weird because we shouldn't do it based on that. But the other thing that happened is he got out ahead of it. Somebody was trying to blackmail him.
Oh, yeah.
And he went out and said, look, before this stuff comes out, I'm here to tell you I'm being blackmailed, and they want to drop all this information. Everyone kind of forgot about the information and just went to the blackmail part and went like, "This guy's a hero because he's getting out and he's a victim of blackmail, and now he's out ahead of it."
Well done, sir.
When we tell the story of the Me Too movement, Letterman's not really included in that, although he was having sex with interns.
He was a pioneer
at his workplace. Yeah. But because he was lucky enough that somebody tried to blackmail him. All right, we have Martin looking for Hammer.
Yes.
Here you go.
Oh God.
We can't. You can't.
Don't move, Hammer. I gave it up. No more harsh malt liquor taste. I've come for King Cobra smooth taste and cold malt liquor satisfaction. So I've heard. Now hand it over. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. It's the new breed. It's quality. Hey, this is it.
There it is.
Super drinking death. Hot chicks looking for Hammer now. Yeah, maybe Tarantino saw that commercial and he's like, you know what? This Cove guy's got chops. I want him in my next movie.
Well, he just, I mean, we worked together April all day, every day, in this VFW movie. It's like Expendables in a bar. That's what it is. William let's see, Slang was in it, and
what year are we talking about?
Just
here?
now. I just
just now.
it. Yeah, and it's Expendables in the bar, and Stephen Lang and David Patrick Kelly and Fred Williamson
Love
and
Stephen
William
Lang.
Sadler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all
Bill Sadler.
We're all
too.
guys in a bar who lived in Vietnam together. But anyway, the bottom line is a terrific little picture. But
Did you say Stallone's in it?
no, Stallone's not in it.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang.
No, I thought at the beginning it said Sly or something.
Slang. Stephen Lang likes to be called Slang.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
But he's over there in New Zealand doing Avatar 3 and 4. I mean,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm looking for Hammer.
But I have a one can left from that sitting in my house.
Sammy Davis Jr. handed it to him.
1977. Sammy
It was
gave
a good, and I wrote on the bottom of the can what I earned that day. It was a very good day.
Because these are national spots, and they would just go, they'd repeat over and over, and it'd be a day's worth of work for you, right?
Yeah, they're wonderful, But, listening to him and listening, because, I like cigars, he likes cigars, and he's got a...
We're talking about Fred Williamson?
Fred Williamson. He's got a plantation in Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah, and so we were comparing cigars and all that. And
He grows tobacco?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got all these Jamaican cigars. But he's a lot of fun, He's just a lot of fun. Plays a lot of golf, lives in Palm Springs.
You got to be careful, though. Like, if you got the wrong ears around you and you're out with Fred and you're like, you can go back to the plantation and pick me some. And everyone else at the Ivy's like, oh, would you quiet? What are you talking about? This Cove guy's going nuts on Fred Wilson. Yeah.
I knew he was
I know
nuts.
you're dying to get back to the plantation. But you can't do it just yet.
Dictionary in the orientation
All right,
play.
so anyway, we're at the Ivy. I guess you get the fried chicken at the Ivy. That's
Just
on the
stop.
menu.
Oh, God, it's like the Fassbender character in Hateful Eight, right? Oh, God.
Just stop.
All right, what else we got, Maxipada?
All right. Well, last week, a newlywed woman goes on the search for that bus from Into the Wild where the guy died.
Oh, God.
So she's heading up there with her
How'd
new
that go?
husband. Not well.
Was that in Alaska?
It's in Alaska. So they're trying to cross the Teklanika River, and she gets swept away and dies. And I guess this is a huge thing. Everybody tries to get up there. It's very difficult. They're not like Vinny where they can just climb a mountain or anything.
Of all the forgettable movies to be inspired by.
Well, it's a true story. It's also a book.
It's a book. Yeah.
So this bus, it's where Chris McCandless died in 92 from supposedly starvation or maybe poisonous berries. So a lot of people are trying to just see this bus, and it's very difficult to get to. And I think 2013 or something, a lot of couples had to get military helicopters to get them because they got stuck. Yeah, get them out.
Yeah.
So everyone's trying to wonder, what do we do with this bus? Some people are saying just burn it down.
Yeah,
it'll stop all the...
Yeah, why the bus? Like, oh, someone died here. The end.
Look, obviously
you went on the death tour. What?
I've been watching a lot of the Partridge Family, and I'll tell you what you can do with a vintage bus. You can paint it multiple colors, form a band, and hit the road and delight the shit out of America.
That'd be great. Bring the bus to everybody else.
Bring the bus, get that bus up and running, and bring the mountain to Mohammed.
Chris had a bus.
I did.
Oh, that's right.
He toured the world.
That's right. He had the gay bus when he was...
they just called it a bus.
Yeah,
we can call it the gay bus, but
I
think they just
am I
called it a
adding
bus.
that?
No, I think they just called it a bus.
We just... It was,
22 dudes on the same bus.
It was implied pretty heavily. It was
sleeping on each other's bedrolls.
Gay bus.
There's not enough room on the floor.
We know what went on that bus.
It's just cumbersome to constantly like, guys, get on the gay bus. Like, just cut
Just say bus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a mouthful,
Right. Yeah, look, anybody who's stupid where you have to get the helicopter in there, you got to pay.
Yeah.
That's
cash.
That's fuel.
That's cash on the barrel.
I want it back. I want that money.
Yeah.
As a taxpayer. All right, let's do one more.
All right. Well, also last week, I don't know if you guys realized this, but Earth was extremely close to getting hit by an asteroid.
Oh, fun.
So they call it a city killer asteroid, whizzed by Earth. Startling astronomers who didn't pick up on the rock's trajectory until days before it passed the planet. It came about 20% the distance that the Earth is from the moon. So it's 43,500 miles, which sounds like a ton, but it's very close. Oh, no. So the asteroid estimated to be between...
Willis movie?
Aerosmith's second best known song, apparently.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah. I forgot that it started this way.
No, best known song, sorry.
Well, listen.
So we just found out about this.
I sleep like a baby knowing that if an asteroid gets too close to this planet, Mexico's going to shoot it right out. Oh, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're on our own.
Shit.
It's just us on the gay bus.
We didn't have enough time to hire some oil riggers to get up there and blow it up.
My favorite story from Armageddon is Ben Affleck telling the director, wouldn't it be a lot easier to train astronauts to drill than it would be to train drillers to be astronauts? It's like, just shut up and make the movie.
Shut up and make the great movie.
Yeah. This is going to... Well, they keep saying it's going to happen, or they're thinking it's going to happen.
So had it hit, it would have hit with over 30 times the energy of the atomic blast of Hiroshima. And the reason
Did you
that...
say 30 times?
30 times.
3 times, fool!
So
it should be more than that.
Well,
How big was it?
It's small. It's
small.
about... So it's 187 feet and between 187 and 427 feet in diameter. So...
Yeah.
About a football field,
I think we're about ready for that Etch-a-Sketch move where we just kind of start over.
Reset?
Well, we're at the point where we've kind of run out of sexualities. You know, everyone has a different
You think
sexuality.
we run out of sexualities?
Well, there's like 50 or something.
Challenge accepted.
Everyone has just kind of gone off the deep end. The people are just bringing fast food. You know, again, I'm seeing Taco Bell show up to my house, and we're done.
Yeah,
it's over.
There was a writer that said, "Keep the bus there because it'll weed out everybody trying to see it in Alaska."
Say maybe that big meteor strike.
Maybe know some things.
Then we have the nuke winter for several thousand years, and then life is extinct as we know it, and then we can get back to it. You know what I mean?
Even if it hits the ocean, that's like deep impact, right?
The Long Road, wasn't it a feature with Viggo Mortensen?
Oh, The Road.
Road.
It's a Cormac McCarthy
I think it's a
novel.
long road because
it was a long movie.
in my heart.
Yeah,
he's describing it.
Yeah, one of those movies where
a lot of those. There's one with Will Smith as well, which was
I Am Legend.
Yeah,
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. You know, those are fun to make and combine with other genres like post-apocalyptic, and you combine it with something else.
Zombie
I
something
liked
or-
I Am Legend. I thought
did
that was
too.
a fun,
I did
well-done movie.
Very much so.
And it was
good remake.
It was off of the Omega Man, or the book, but then Chuck Heston made a book.
The book was I Am Legend.
Did you like Omega Man?
Omega
Did you like Omega Man?
I liked Omega Man because Chuck Heston was always the best, back then. He was talking to himself. He was. Well, there's a couple things about the Omega Man, the Chuck Heston early '70s version of that. One is they have shots from like on top of downtown L.A. just looking at L.A. and there's nothing moving. Like there's no cars moving. And it was before all the CGI and Photoshops and everything. They just went on a Sunday when there wasn't anything. It's 6 a.m. and there wasn't anything open. Like there wasn't. Now there's traffic all day, every day, and stuff. There was a time when on a Sunday, everything was closed. Nobody was doing anything. And you could go, shoot. I don't know if you can find it a shot, but it's like Omega Man. There's a couple things. One is Chuck Heston had a black girlfriend with an afro that was bigger than Lynn Swan's, which must have bothered Chuck Heston. I don't know what he thought about, but he had this black girlfriend.
I was about to say, I don't know if it was you or me who made this observation, but I talk about the scene in the apartment with them because he's the last man on Earth. They're surrounded by zombies, blah, blah, blah. And he finds another woman. And in the middle of trying to survive this zombie apocalypse, he's like, all right, we're going to shoot them all. We're going to set traps. But first, you're looking pretty good there, lady. There's a love scene out of nowhere.
It was great. He had an elevator that went to
stops dead.
He lived in a fortress.
It looked like a brownstone.
And Anthony had everything.
Yeah. Anthony Zerbe was a great
with the eyes.
That was great. My friend Paul Kozlow, who played my brother in Gunsmoke a couple of years later, he played Dutch, the guy on the motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And I love that movie. I watched it a lot, and it just was the original. It was the original. Maybe Night of the Living Dead might have been the original, the first one with George Romero directing. But Mega Man was a really good movie.
I loved it.
And
it was also this crazy thing when I was watching, I was 9 years old or something, but Chuck Heston would just walk down the street and go oh, the new Mustangs are in. And he'd just get in a new Mustang and fire it up and drive it through the showroom window and just pull out onto the street. Had these guns, was shooting everywhere. Eventually, when he died at the end, he was in a fountain, and he was it was in a crucifix, his arms were out. It was very sort of he's Jesus, spread out there. I'm not sure why he had the black girlfriend, but she had a great afro.
Yeah. I Am Legend was a good remake. Different, but good.
All right, whose afro's better, Arthur Ashe, Chuck Heston's girlfriend from Omega Man, or Lynn Swan?
That's right, with the Uzi.
I need more time for these rankings.
Tarantino must have seen Omega. He must have seen this movie 7,000 times, right?
This would be one of his favorites. That whole period, yeah, because that was 1969.
Right,
that
right.
Actually, was 1969.
Can you find any shot? There was some point where he went up to the top of a building in mid Wilshire or something, and just kind of surveyed L.A. from the 9th story, and it's nothing was around. There was nothing there. It's so goddamn crowded now. It's you leave on a Saturday at noon and you hop on the 101. It's bumper to bumper traffic.
Mm-hmm.
This is Saturday.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll go back and watch that. It must be, I don't know, a Blu-ray and a director's cut or something.
Of Omega Man?
Yeah.
I would imagine so. It's considered a classic, I guess, for his genre.
Yeah. Chuck Heston, for a while, man, between Planet of the Apes and Omega Man and stuff, is nothing better.
It's the biggest star on Earth.
Hey, he really. Do you remember El Cid? I just loved El Cid. And one time, I think it was with Bo Hopkins, we were at a celebrity shoot in Dana Point, and I went up to him, and he was a lovely guy. And I said, and I just said it out of the blue, I said, Chuck, do you realize how lucky you are? Just with all these classics from Ten Commandments, the greatest show on earth, then the Ten Commandments, then Ben-Hur, then El Cid, and Will Penny, all these really terrific movies. And he just was so cool. He just smiled and didn't change his attitude about whatever we were talking about. He says, yeah, I guess I really have been that lucky.
He's a bummer of a dude to land on a planet with, because there's a scene when they crash land at the beginning of Planet of the Apes. They crash land in a swamp, and they get out of they survive, and him and his 3 astronaut buddies are like walking behind him, and they're like, God, how much time has passed? We've time traveled. Like, what's going on? And Chuck's like, everything you've ever known, everything you've ever loved, every woman you've ever hugged, your kids, they're all turned to dust. Dust, I tell you. It's like bumming the shit out of everybody who's on this new planet that they think, I guess, is a new planet.
Yeah, they travel from another planet, yeah.
Yeah.
Great reveal ending ahead of its time.
Yeah, that was a terrific picture.
It's back to when all the dudes looked like not G.I. Joe, but his buddies. Like the black dudes had the beard and the hair that looked like they all had that sort of build. You know, they weren't like juiced up. Now everyone's all John Cena'd out. You know, back then they were just kind of in shape.
Dudes.
You know, they weren't all jacked on the creatine.
Cut. That famous ending was shot in Malibu, Mazumba Beach.
Yeah,
like hard to get
Paradise
to. They had to
Covey kind of area.
They had to airlift some people, like equipment in there because it was hard to get to. They had to make it look remote, obviously.
Well, look who knows about movies. All right, if you can find
I could be wrong.
If you find that shot, I'll look at it. But if not,
right now I got the trailer of Omega Man, which does show a pretty barren Los Angeles.
Oh well, let's just watch the trailer for Omega Man. Yeah, just show him driving down the street with nobody around. There used to be real metal trash cans out. Used to run over them. Charlton Heston is. Phone booth ringing. That's the greatest thing ever. He's got himself like an Uzi.
There you go.
There it is.
Pull back to reveal.
Wow. The last man on Earth. He's going nuts with the phone booth.
He's just wandering.
There is no phone ringing, damn it!
Wow, that's good.
I'd like to direct Omega Man. Chuck, let's do one, but let's do it bigger. let's bring it up about 50%.
That was big, admittedly big, but we can do bigger.
Yeah.
That was getting close to nighttime when they were coming out.
He was playing
That's
chess against the bust of Caesar, I think. As
like
I
imaginary
recall.
friends.
Right. Your move, Imperator. All right. We could do this forever. Let's bring it home, Maxipada.
My name's Chris. That's the news.